The following videos show impossible scenarios that have never been fully solved. My hope is that we can work together as a community and ultimately find an explanation for these chilling occurrences once and for all. At the same time, my greatest fear is that there is no answer for these videos, aside from the morbid possibility what you are seeing is somehow simultaneously real and unexplainable. Number 10. The Florida Fireball. On November 21st, 2016, a giant fireball shot over Port Charlotte, Florida, and landed in an undisclosed location. This event was caught on multiple dash cams. As the footage shows, the huge streak of light hits the earth at a high rate of speed and fills a large portion of the sky with a metallic blue color. There has been no official explanation, but everything from a radiation-laced meteorite to a failed EMP has been proposed. What I find strangest of all is that no damage was reported. Look at the footage closely. Most people agree that this was a meteorite, but what do you think this was, and what could have caused it? Number 9. Contact. The International Space Station is a floating research base built by NASA that orbits around the world. This footage was taken from cameras on the outside, and it has led many people to believe that NASA accidentally live-streamed alien contact on television. Everything looks normal when all of a sudden, a small number of UFOs casually travel from right to left across the screen. Stranger still is how NASA suddenly cuts away to a wide shot of the mission control room when this happens. They later claimed that the UFOs were ice particles, but perhaps there is another explanation. Number 8. The Noise. Residents in Tallahassee, Florida, feared for their lives when this strange and haunting sound echoed throughout their area for over 20 minutes.
It's not back that way, it's up in this corner. Don't go out there.
There's little doubt that this video is real, as you can hear the fear in the family's voices.
Get the kids in the bathroom.
I hear the wind.
Get the kids in the bathroom.
Get in the bathroom. Get.
I thought it was a tornado, but the person in the video doesn't. They called 911 and learned that police were apparently flooded with concerned complaints about the noise. The person who recorded this footage says that the local news was told to report this as an airplane. This doesn't really sound like an airplane to me. There's one other strange occurrence, a sudden flash of lightning that instantly makes the noise disappear.
If it is to get into the safe. Uh-oh, what was that? I don't hear it anymore, Tim.
I've never been in a tornado before, so I can't say if this video looks normal or not. I'm especially looking for opinions from people who have been in one. Do you agree with the uploader that this could have been something more than a tornado, like a government weather experiment? Number 7. The Ghost of Kenya. This video was recorded years ago when former President Obama visited Kenya. Something clearly flies across the screen from left to right as Obama is busy shaking hands with state officials. The unidentified object is gray and transparent, and it appears to have a large head and a much smaller torso-like body. Since many people believe that Kenya is home to a lot of spirits, they suspect this to be a paranormal encounter recorded live. Critics have pointed out that the alleged spirit could merely be a plastic bag or even a boom mic, which is an overhead recording mic that newscasters often use while covering live events. It does seem strange how no one else seems to notice the alleged spirit as it moves by, but then again, we are only seeing a small portion of the crowd, and they are mostly focused on Obama. If there were a wider shot, then we would be able to get more people's reactions. It would only take one frightened looking person to add more legitimacy to this video. Number 6. The Ghost Chase. This dashcam footage was taken from the Garland City Police Department. A police officer is chasing a car at high speeds when things suddenly go off-road. The car has turned into a dead end and is coming up on a chain link fence. It looks like the chase is over, but then this happens.
A fence at the end means no way out, or does it?
The car appears to have escaped through a solid chain link fence with no gate or any other type of opening to pass through. Every officer who has reviewed this footage has been completely baffled, and no explanation has ever been given. You can tell by the angle of the car's brake lights that it was driving straight the whole time and did not swerve around the fence. Somehow there's no signs of damage to the fence. It looks completely untouched. Number 5. The Hanging of Oz. If you have not heard of this one before, then surely you are at least passingly familiar with The Wizard of Oz. This was the movie to feature color film, and it was also the first movie to possibly show an actual hanging. Pay attention to the swinging figure between two trees in the center screen to see it. I have to admit, this definitely looks like it could be a body from a distance. The official response from the studio was that it could have been one of the many wild birds that was on set, but even they aren't sure. To make matters even more confusing, some versions of the movie appear to show a bird instead of a hanging body. Some people insist that the bird was edited into later versions to cover up the body. Other people insist that the body was edited in later for a 50th anniversary release by someone who wanted to start a controversy. The truth has never been convincingly revealed. Number 4. Naga Fireballs. What you are watching is not a fireworks show, but rather a rare and mysterious natural phenomenon known as Naga Fireballs. These strange fireballs literally shoot up from the water every year and can be tiny as sparks or large as a basketball. You can see them from Thailand and Laos. Scientists have no idea what causes these fireballs, but some locals believe that this is a display of power from a serpent-like bodyguard who once watched over Buddha. Number 3. The Day There Were Two Suns. Recent footage from China apparently shows two identical suns orbiting next to each other. This footage has been credited as authentic, and even the world's top scientists have been unable to agree on an official explanation. This only lasted for a short while before the sun apparently went back to normal. One scientist suggests that it could have been an optical illusion caused by light reflecting off a thick path of atmosphere. I think this is a reasonable explanation since, if there were suddenly two suns, then the increase in temperature probably would have fried us all. Unless, of course, there have always been two suns all along. Number 2. The Tunnel. This tunnel in Blue Ash, Ohio is steeped in local lore, and none of it is good. Apparently, a cult once used this maze of sewer passages to hold all sorts of rituals and sacrifices. This makes a YouTuber named The Fam want to explore the area with his friends, though now I'm sure he wishes he hadn't. Everything starts out fine at first, but soon The Fam claims to feel more and more sick as he draws closer to the infamous altar room, which is where most of the sacrifices were supposedly made. Something makes him have a panic attack, and he claims to have felt ill for a long time after making this video. It's impossible to tell if he really is being affected by spirits, or if he simply contracts a sickness from being in the sewer, or if it's his nerves getting the better of him. I'll let you decide for yourself. Here's a clip of him at the beginning of the video.
Alright guys, I'm gonna keep on going. I gotta see if we can find this altar room. I'm not looking forward to finding it really.
Feeling normal. And here's his reaction after discovering the sacrificial altar room.
I'm having a panic attack. Yeah. I did a couple minutes ago.
Do you think he really is getting sick from being in the presence of pure evil? Before we get to number 1, if you've ever been curious as to what I look like in real life, then follow me on Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT with underscores instead of spaces. I also have a Twitter at YT_chills where I post video updates. I'd really appreciate it if you followed me, and feel free to send me a DM if you have any questions or suggestions. If you'd like to see more of these videos in the future, then hit that subscribe button because I upload a new video every Thursday. Number 1. The VHS. This tape is probably one of the most morbid things I've ever seen. A deranged teen casually explains how to dig up graves and extract what's inside both as a hobby and for profit, and the amount of detail he puts into his explanations make me think that this is undoubtedly real. You'll have to watch the video for yourself to get all of the sickening facts, but basically he says that he digs them up and sells them to local magic shops for a profit. He then goes on to explain how to detach the top from the body and how to do things like convert it into a candle holder to make more money. He says that he can tell how old it is by the color, and he even talks about how to remove the brain. He says all of this while supposedly handling one that he took as an example. The more he talks, the more I hope that he is just holding a prop and making all of this up. During this part of the video, however, you can see a hole where it fits into the spinal cord, which makes me think that he is not lying after all.
Okay, pull it back like that. It should loosen up from the spinal cords, that way you don't mess up this part and everything, ripping it off, okay? Pull it back, okay?
You'll also notice around the 5.5 minute mark of the video that he has deep marks on his hands. It looks to me as if he really has been digging up what he says he is. There's little doubt in my mind that this video was really taken in the 90s. You can even see a copy of Evil Dead 2 next to him, and the VHS box looks new. So the question is this video real, or was this just a group of friends who were just joking around? Well, one part of this video in particular makes me think that he is being absolutely serious.
Make sure there's no witnesses. When you leave, always bring it back. If you leave witnesses, sometimes you might like doing these things and everything at the wall. Somebody might see them and say, that was him, that was him, that was him. Never let anybody point you out.
He has never been caught or even identified. Thanks for checking out this video. Be sure to subscribe because I upload a new video every Thursday. Or if you're still not convinced, here are some of my other videos that I think you'd like. Enjoy!